Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to imagine just for a second that you're building this absolutely stunning, state-of-the-art storefront. You've got the beautiful display windows, it's packed with top-of-the-line products, the sign is painted perfectly, but there's a massive catch. This brand new store is sitting right smack in the middle of a vast, empty desert. No roads leading to it, no maps showing where it is. Honestly, that is exactly what launching a brand new website feels like if you don't have a solid plan for what comes next. So many people deal with this incredibly frustrating flatlining traffic chart right after spending big money on a website launch. So, in today's explainer, we're going to decode exactly why that happens and, way more importantly, how we fix it.
So, you've got to ask yourself, is simply launching your website enough? It's a super common, highly stressful anxiety for anyone managing a digital footprint. I mean, you've probably spent weeks, maybe even months, getting the design pixel perfect, tweaking the copy until it literally sings. And then finally, you hit that glorious publish button. Man, it feels monumental, right? It feels just like the finish line. It's totally natural to think that all the hard work is entirely behind you and boom, the customers are just going to start rolling in automatically.
Well, here is a quick, direct reality check for you. No. It's actually just the starting line. You know that old cinematic idea of if you build it, they will come? Yeah, that is a complete myth in the digital architecture of the internet. The web doesn't just automatically look at a brand new resource and claim it as its own. The network literally doesn't know it belongs there yet. Users have no clue it exists, and those complex digital systems that guide users around, they are completely oblivious to your shiny new presence.
Which brings us to this really interesting phase we can call the search engine waiting game. It is actually fascinating to think about the unseen mechanics that are constantly running behind the scenes of your browser. You see, search engines like Google or Bing, they are inherently skeptical of brand new websites. They run entirely on trust, and a brand new site, it has exactly zero trust. First off, they have to actually discover and gain access to your pages. And then, they need a significant chunk of time to evaluate the quality of those pages. They definitely don't just hand over top search rankings to the new kid on the block without some serious proof of value.
Think about a technically perfect site for a second. The code is flawless, there are zero bugs, the load times are lightning fast. But as our source material points out, even a technically flawless site can stay completely invisible and buried in the search rankings for a long, long time. Why? Well, because it's just sitting there waiting to be indexed, and it completely lacks those vital external signals. No other websites are linking to it, and there are no behavioral signals from actual human users clicking around. Now contrast that with an actively promoted site. Active SEO and promotion aggressively speeds up that initial indexing process. It proactively builds that trust we were talking about and proves its relevance to very specific user queries.
The absolutely crucial point here is that your website does not exist in a vacuum. It lives in this incredibly live, hyper-competitive environment. So while you might be sitting back admiring your slick new homepage, the global search results are constantly updating. Your competitors, they're out there actively developing their own pages and siphoning off traffic while you wait. Without active promotional work on your end, you really run the risk of a scenario where your only traffic comes from direct clicks, meaning people who already manually typed in your exact URL, or from paid ads, if you're lucky enough to be running them.
Okay, so we've thoroughly identified the problem. Let's pivot right to the solution, the core pillars of promotion. How exactly do we build those roads that lead out of that digital desert and onto the main street of the internet? Let's look at the actual mechanics of post-launch promotion in practice.
Effective post-launch promotion really boils down to 4 interrelated areas. Number 1, content strategy. Number 2, SEO optimization. Number 3, commercial considerations. And number 4, initial paid acquisition, which, let's be honest, is sometimes just necessary to get the engine turning. Now, it's vital to understand these 4 pillars don't just operate in silos, they work completely in tandem. The ultimate goal isn't just chasing some vanity metric of blindly attracting visitors. It's about utilizing these pillars to make your website deeply understandable and genuinely useful to your specific target audience.
Let's break down the tactical engine of those pillars. And this brilliantly illustrates how the granular behind-the-scenes work actually dictates what shows up in search results. First, your content and structure absolutely must be meticulously matched to actual user requests and intentions. Second is internal linking. When you link intelligently within your own site, the really important sections get more weight and they're revealed much faster to search engines. Third is building authority. Getting mentions and links from other established sites proves the trustworthiness of your new domain. And finally, improve performance. When you make the user experience better, people stay on the page longer, bounce rates drop, and that engagement drives actual conversions.
But listen, This is definitely not a set-it-and-forget-it system. Actually, launching a site introduces 3 brand new risks that you've got to manage. Almost immediately after a release, you might suddenly realize you have pages with low relevance to your actual users. Or you might quickly accumulate unseen indexing errors, where search engine bots are just getting totally confused by your code. And then, over a few months, shifting business priorities might mean the site's original structure is suddenly out of whack with your new company goals. So, regular, active SEO and content management are what you use to continuously resolve these technical headaches and keep the site firmly aligned with what you're trying to achieve.
Managing those risks brings us to a super fundamental concept of promotion: measurability. A website is a living, breathing digital asset. After you launch, you have to know what is actually happening under the hood. You've got to use tools like analytics and A/B testing, which, by the way, is simply comparing 2 versions of a web page to see which one performs better. You need to track exactly which pages are working, which specific search queries are successfully bringing people in. Where on the site are potential leads getting frustrated, dropping off, and being lost? These are absolutely crucial feedback loops. Especially while your site is still basically in its infancy, you cannot just guess, you must measure.
So why put in all this continuous effort? Ultimately, it's about achieving independence from a single channel. Think of it like growing deep roots for a tree. If you launch a site and you only rely on paid advertising to get traffic, what happens the literal second your marketing budget dries up? The traffic immediately flatlines. By investing deeply in SEO and content promotion right from day one, you're building a robust, long-term foundation. Over time, that active work creates this beautiful, sustainable organic traffic. And that organic traffic drastically reduces your dependence on advertising budgets and makes your business results incredibly predictable.
All right, so we understand the why and the what of this whole process. Now let's get highly practical. Let's open up the post-launch playbook and look at some concrete, actionable steps straight from the source material.
If you are sitting there right now with a freshly launched website, or you're just about to launch one, here is your Smart Start checklist. 4 steps. Step 1. Rigidly define your target audience and your priority search queries. You must know exactly who you want to reach and the exact words they are typing into that search bar. Step 2. Launch a dedicated content plan to explicitly answer those specific queries. Step 3. Run a thorough check on your technical condition and indexing to guarantee that search engines can actually read all that beautiful content you're creating. And Step 4. Choose a deliberate strategy for building external links and citations to prove your new site's authority to the wider web.
Now, once you've initiated that checklist, the entire long-term process basically boils down to an ongoing loop. It relies on the rule of 3, which makes it incredibly sticky and memorable. Step 1. Measure. Look at your incoming data constantly. Step 2. Improve. Make smart, data-driven tweaks based on what you just measured. Step 3. Expand reach. Once a page is really working, find new keywords and entirely new audiences to target. Measure, improve, expand reach. This is your continuous, cyclical engine for sustainable website management. I want to wrap up this explainer with a truly powerful quote from our source material. It perfectly captures the essence of everything we've unpacked today. Here it is. Launching a website is the moment you make a name for yourself. Promotion is the process that turns that statement into a steady stream of visibility and potential customers. It's a brilliant distinction, isn't it? So the very next time you or your team think about hitting that publish button, ask yourself a provocative question. Are you just making a loud statement into an empty desert? Or are you actually ready to build the infrastructure that leads potential customers right to your front door? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this structure really helps you on your digital journey. Keep exploring and keep learning.